Okay, we're here talking with Steve Nash at the launch of Liquid Nutrition here in Toronto at the TSX. We're going to talk marketing and advertising. My name is Tom Gierzymchuk, Editor-in-Chief of Marketing Magazine. Steve, first question for you. What's the first bit of information that you consume in the morning, kind of thing, something that really you can't live without, can't get your day started without in terms of information?
Well, I mean, I think the reality is now that, I get on Twitter and consume information, and whether you're following the New York Times or the soccer journalists in England, that I get a lot of my information about the different things that my different passions. I usually get all my news sources and information from Twitter.
Great. And when you think of advertising and marketing today, obviously, it's an industry on fire in both a good and bad way. What do you see out there? I mean, what do you see the current situation playing out in 4 or 5 years? Given what you're doing, given the content production you're getting up to with your various initiatives, what do you see?
Well, I think it's an exciting time in a really tough market. We've seen in some ways people are forced to get creative and use different outlets, whether it's social media or the type of content and the type of messaging they're getting across. So, for me, I think it's exciting to see people sink or swim with their creativity and trying to find different ways where maybe the funding isn't always there or the ad space or dollars aren't always available. So that's what's been exciting for me, and I think that it's only going to allow the market to resolve itself, and for people to get back into a really whole market. So it's great that people are in a way forced to be creative and use that faculty instead of just a traditional ad buy that, and a lot of times in the past just seemed could be regurgitated or like assembly lines. Now it's like people are like, wait a minute, we don't have the same spend, so how are we going to do this? How are we going to get our bang for our buck? And I think it's made it more competitive and more exciting.
Great. Just to jump forward a bit to your work with branded content and sort of you're a proponent of owned media, all brands being media brands. How do you approach that in terms of creating, be it a commercial or something like that, other initiatives specifically to a brand? What are some of the things that go through your head prior to creating a project?
Well, I think we, typically try to, bring something different to the brand. Have the brand be more human, have the brand maybe be self-deprecating, or think of the brand almost as a person, not only as ownership of its own social media, but also of its own content in a way that allows a smirk or a smile or a wink. And so I think that's been one of the strategies we've used to try to bring a more relatable channel between the brand and the consumer.